It's the curse of the Senko.
So, why am I going fishing in the pouring rain? I don't know. What is going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of Dirty Dersch Fishing. And today I'm going to be fishing the Merrimack River again, but this time I'm going to be using basically my most hated lure. Everybody and their mother uses this lure, but I don't. To be honest with you, I don't even think it works that well. And I am talking about a Senko. Now, I rarely use Senkos just because when I do use them, I don't even really catch that many fish. My go-to lure when the bite is tough is a shaky head trick worm or a weightless paddle tail. I never use Senkos. I really don't have that much luck on it, but I know this lure does work. I've seen people catch big fish on it, just I haven't, and it's my most dreaded lure. But there's only one way to get better, and that is by using it. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be using a Senko. And I actually got this 30 pack of Senkos for like $7 on sale at Bass Pro. Bass Pro does have some good deals sometimes. So, last time I was here, see this log here? There and there? The city actually came and they cleared these tracks. And it makes it way easier just to walk down this trail. That's awesome. City of Concord is doing something right. They're like, you know what? Like, they cut this one too. And they're like, you know what? I know Dersch from Dirty Dersch Fishing goes down here. Let's make his life easier and cut those trees for him. So I'm like, heck yeah.
Whoa. Look at this guy. I think this is a little box turtle. Let's get him down closer to the water real quick. I think that's where he was headed anyway. I don't know for sure, but we'll just put him right there, right on the rock. We don't want to put him actually in the water too, because sometimes turtles are really dumb and they won't come out of their shell because they're too scared and they'll drown themselves. I think I'm gonna put my Senko on a shaky head. Gonna take off this swim bait. Alright, I have a serious question for you guys. Comment down below if you know the answer to this. What's the difference between a big Ned rig and a shaky head? Aren't they like the same thing? How come there's two different names for them? I actually use the Palomar knot exclusively. I used to just use a clinch knot, but I actually snapped off on like a 5-pound fish using the clinch knot, so now I'll never use it again. Alright, this is just a 5-inch green pumpkin Senko from Bass Pro. I'm going to be putting it on a shaky head today because I'm going to be fishing the river. And with all this rain, the river is actually moving at a pretty high speed. So I think I'm going to need something to hold the bottom. I think if I just go weightless, it's just going to be sent down the river too fast. Alright, I'm all rigged up with my shaky head Senko. Now, let's see if my dreaded lure still is my dreaded lure. I'm going to be starting off with a pond that's right off the Merrimack River. Actually, at the top of this hill behind me are some railroad tracks, and then it goes back down into the Merrimack River. So I'm really only like 20 feet from the river right now. But I'm just going to be spot hopping today. I got a few spots on a pond, I got a creek I want to fish, and then I want to fish the Merrimack. Ah! I missed one. What? Are you serious? He took my Senko off. First fish. Let's twist on a new Senko, I guess. Got one. This guy took it on the fall. But my most dreaded lure caught a fish already. Granted, it's like 1/8 of a pound, maybe just a few ounces. But that's awesome. First fish of the day. So according to my GoPro, I've only been fishing here for about 5 minutes. So I guess that's a good sign. But that little bass literally took it on the fall. That was actually kind of cool. Get in this real shallow area back here. With the overcast sky, there should be a fish in this shallow water over here. There's not really any rocks or logs in the water over here. Got him! Got him! That's what I'm talking about, baby. 2 fish already. 2 fish already, baby. On the Senko. My most dreaded lure strikes again. Alright, this time I'm gonna throw him back. Last time I put the other one too shallow when he kind of struggled to get back into deeper water, but there we go. Been here 10 minutes, 2 fish already. Let's go. This bait caster is very inconsistent. Alright, time to switch up spots. See what I mean though? Railroad tracks, and then the Merrimack River is right there. Actually, one person died just a couple days ago over there because he was fishing on a kayak without his life jacket, and he flipped the kayak, and I don't know if he was just a bad swimmer or what, but I guess he went under the water and nobody saw him again. It's kind of messed up, which is kind of messed up because I fished that stretch of the river with no life jacket on my kayak before. And I'm sorry about my default audio today. Alright, let's get out of here. I'm just a little bit too buggy right here. All right. Made it to another spot. Let's see if the spot produces. I'm actually fishing a creek right now that connects the main Merrimack River to a small farm pond. Got him. There we go. There's fish of the day. This one is kind of chunky. Still only like 1/8 of a pound though. I want something at least a pound today. Let's actually get down here. Looked like somebody already came fishing here recently. Well, that's frustrating. Snapped off on my first rig. Man. There we go. I was wrapped around a log and this guy took it. It's got to be a big pickerel. He's fighting really hard. Don't snap my line. Yes. Got him. Good thing I kept pressure on him. He was just barely hooked. But that's the biggest fish of the day. Probably about 1.5 pounds, 1.75 maybe. But let's see if we can get a good release on him. There he goes. To expose the hook a little bit. Let's get back out here. Ooh, the water feels really nice right now. Fish. Ah, got him. If I snap my rod though. Oh, big bass. Oh! No way. That was a big bass. That was a good 3 pounds. But I snapped my rod on that hook set. That is really frustrating because that's like half of my rod. And I finally hook into a big fish on my dreaded lure. To be honest with y'all, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should just go home. You know what I bet that was? I bet that's the curse of the Senko. That is why the Senko remains my most dreaded lure. Yeah, I was catching fish today, but I wanted to come out fishing today because Saturday, which was yesterday, I worked a bunch of overtime, so I didn't get a chance to fish yesterday. So I was going to come out today with the Senko in mind, and of course it's downpouring the entire time. I snap my rod, I miss a giant fish. 3 pounds is giant for me. Alright, now we're going to use a rod that has 4 eyelets. So now instead of having 10 or 8, I forget which, I don't feel like counting right now, I have 4. So instead of having like a medium power rod, I'm gonna have a heavy power rod. Get this Palomar knot involved, pull it tight. Alright, see what I'm dealing with right there? We're not gonna catch a fish. Got him. Oh. It's alright, guys. It was just a little bit, well, I was just going to say just a little bit of pickerel. That was just a little pickerel. There's a lot of weeds here. A lot more weeds than last time. Got him. Oh, another missed fish on this half rod. That time it was a bass. Come on. I might have to switch to a weightless Senko, just because there's so many weeds over here. Oh my goodness. Another missed hook set. Alright, let's leave the hook exposed. Maybe that will help with my ratio. Got one. Oh my goodness. That's another missed fish. I just cannot get the hook into these fish with my half of a rod. That's like the 4th fish I missed. Now before I had 100% hookup ratio. Every time I got a bite, I was hooking up with fish. That's 4 in a row now. There we go. Oh my God! How, dude? I'm all rigged up again. Oh, big bass, big bass. He's around that log. He's around that log. Why, dude? This is why I hate fishing Senkos. Got it. Get up here. You are mine. You ain't going anywhere, baby. Finally, I catch a fish on my half rod. I don't know how he stayed hooked, but whew. He's a little bit smaller than I thought. He's like 1.75 pounds, not even 2 pounds. Man, my half of a rod is getting the best of me right now, but that makes me feel so much better. Hooking into a big fish like that. Alright, that's got my confidence up a little bit more. What? Well, just snapped off on a log. So what I think I'm going to do now is, because there's just so many weeds in front of me, instead of using a shaky head, I think I'm just going to go with a weightless Senko. Alright, this time I'm just going to do a simple Texas rig. Alright, I have to re-rig this worm. I did an awful job. here. There we go, another bass. To be honest with you, I did not think I was going to catch a bass where I casted, just because it's only about a foot deep right there with really tall grass and weeds, so it's really pickerel territory. But hey, I'm glad to catch another bass on the Senko. Senko's actually doing work today. Maybe it's starting to change my mind.